Yo, happy Monday. Welcome back to another episode of the Sauce. Quick recap of yesterday. Things started off great. The ticket started off with 8 straight wins. Now, they were 4 games, and I split them each into 2 bets, so that's a little deceiving. But started off 8-0 on the ticket. After the 1 o'clock games, I was up over a unit. And then again, it's the third time this happened out of the 4 weeks this NFL season. I got crushed in the 4 o'clock games. And then it came down to the end. If Patrick Mahomes runs that into the end zone, I have a winning day. As we know, he did not. I finished minus 0.72 units. I'm actually kind of grateful that it was only minus 0.72 units because I had a lot wrong. Saints, Steelers, Dolphins, and Patriots, I was blatantly on the wrong side. It's one thing to lose when it's a coin flip game and it comes down to the end and it could have gone either way. That was not the case for a bulk of my losses. I was flat out wrong. So to lose less than 1 unit on a day where a lot of my predictions weren't great, I'll take that. So let's move on to Monday Night Football. Seahawks at Giants. This line opened up with the Giants favored. They were laying 1.5 points. They're now catching 1.5 points. Total sitting at 47. Let's roll.
Welcome to the Sauce. The Sauce. Hey, get the sauce.
So like I said, this line's moved a full 3 points from Giants minus 1.5 to Giants plus 1.5. Public is all over Seattle with the sharp action on the Giants. So we got a pros versus public set up here. Public on the Seahawks, pros on the Giants. All right, to start things out, one thing we do have to say about the Giants is they started off the season with a bit of a rough schedule. I mean, at the time, that come from behind win against the Cardinals looked bad, but now looking back, I mean, the Cardinals are looking pretty good. They beat Dallas. They just gave San Francisco a game. I know they ended up losing by 19, but I watched that entire game. They did not get blown out like the scoreboard indicates. DVOA-wise, every single opponent the Giants have seen this year is a top 10 opponent. Part of the reason we all have the Giants classified as just a trash team is the optics. I mean, they're 1-2. Their only win against a Cardinals team that we all consider bad. And their 2 losses were ugly, 2 blowouts. But if you take a step back and actually look at it from a numbers standpoint, they lost to 2 really good teams in San Francisco and Dallas, 2 games they were supposed to lose, and then they went on the road and beat a team that's playing pretty well right now. And to add to the Giants' bad luck to start this season, not only did they play 2 really good teams and 1 underrated team, but all 3 of those defenses have a pass rush. Dallas and San Francisco are 1st and 2nd, Arizona's 12th. The reason that's bad luck is that happens to be the biggest problem with this Giants team so far, pass protection. Well, one of them, they got a couple, but Giants are 28th in adjusted sack rate allowed, dead last in both pressure rate allowed and QB hurry rate allowed. And this was a problem for the Giants last year as well. They finished 24th in adjusted sack rate last year, so the pass protection is a situation for this Giants team. So the Giants should be thrilled to look at the Seahawks sack numbers. They're just 29th in adjusted sack rate. The Seahawks pass rush has not been getting home, but Seahawks are 18th in pressure rate, 15th in QB hurry rate, which usually indicates there's some regression coming. But here's the thing. Yes, Daniel Jones has been running for his life so far this season, but even when he's been given time to throw, he hasn't been good. From a clean pocket, Daniel Jones is 26th in passer rating, 20th in yards per attempt, 24th in adjusted completion percentage. So if you're thinking everything would just be fine if Daniel Jones had time to throw, I don't really know if that's accurate. Good news is the Seattle pass defense has definitely been pretty bad. They're 31st in the NFL in yards per game allowed through the air, 24th in passer rating allowed, 28th in pass defense DVOA. Andy Dalton, Matt Stafford, and Jared Goff all had solid games throwing the ball in this Seahawks defense, so it makes sense if you think this is a good opportunity for Daniel Jones to start throwing the ball well. And if you're looking for a player prop to add to this game, you might want to look Darren Waller's way. He didn't do much last week against the 49ers, but that's to be expected. San Francisco's defense never lets tight ends eat on them. They're great over the middle of the field. They have some of the best defensive numbers against tight ends in the NFL. Seattle's defense has basically been the exact opposite. Tight ends are killing them. Through 3 weeks, they're 31st in DVOA versus tight ends, dead last in yards per catch given up to tight ends. Now, when it comes to the run game, this is where the Seahawks defense has the huge edge. They weren't good. They struggled to stop the run last year, but adding Bobby Wagner to your linebacking core will definitely help that. Seahawks front 7 has been great this year. They're towards the top of the NFL in yards per carry allowed, adjusted line yards, and DVOA. So the Seahawks have been great against the run. Now, the Giants' run game hasn't been bad. It's been pretty middle of the pack, 19th in yards per carry, 16th in DVOA, 13th in adjusted line yards. But they're going to be missing 2 huge pieces here. Saquon Barkley officially listed as doubtful. I doubt he plays. And left tackle Andrew Thomas, he's still out. He hasn't played since the Dallas game in week 1. Playing the Seahawks defense, who nobody's been able to run the ball on yet this year, with Matt Breida and Gary Brightwell as your backs, Seahawks, missing your best offensive lineman, I think it's safe to say it's going to be a lot of pressure on Daniel Jones to produce in this one. Now, on the other side of the ball, this is where it's tough to find positive talking points for the New York Giants. That defense. Holy shit, man. I mean, this is one of the worst defenses in the NFL so far. 31st in DVOA, 30th against the pass, 25th against the run. Now, the Giants defense last year was ass too, but there's a big difference. Last year, they were bad against the run, bad against the pass. But you know what the Giants were great at last year? Third downs, and they were great in the red zone. Third downs and red zone percentage. So despite having a bad defense analytically last season, the Giants defense only allowed 22.8 points per game. This year, they're allowing 32.7 points a game, a full 10 points per game more, and they've been terrible on third downs and not nearly as good in the red zone. And they're going to have their hands full because the Seahawks offense is good. Fourth overall rated offense according to DVOA, top 10 rushing, top 10 passing. And this matchup is particularly interesting because the Seahawks' weakness offensively is third down conversions. They haven't been good at third downs. They also haven't been good in the red zone. This would be a really good time for the situational Giants defense of last year to show up. If you're betting the Seahawks, you should definitely be worried about the Giants pass rush. Now, a quick glance at the stat sheet, you might think, hey, Giants don't have a pass rush. They only have 2 sacks on the season, which is true, which is why the Giants are only 31st in adjusted sack rate. But you know what? Giants are top 5 in pressure rate and QB hurry rate, so they're coming. They haven't been getting the quarterback to the ground yet, but they're coming. And this could be a problem because the Seahawks offensive line is banged up right now. Abraham Lucas is still out. He's been out since week 1. Charles Cross listed as doubtful, so Seattle's going to be without both offensive tackles. And now Evan Brown might not play the center. He must have got hurt in practice because he wasn't even on the injury report to start the week. I think the Giants pass rush is going to be a huge factor in this game. I've been saying, whenever the pressure numbers are there, the sacks will eventually come. We saw it with the Jags. We saw it with the Lions. I think we're about to see it with the Giants. They are coming. But here's the deciding factor to me, because I was all set on fading everybody and taking the Giants, counting on that pass rush, counting on Daniel Jones to make plays through the air. But then I looked at Geno Smith's numbers under pressure, and I just couldn't pull the trigger on that. Geno Smith absolutely murders the blitz. Giants are second in the NFL in blitz rate. Wink Martindale loves the blitz. He loves sending guys. Look at Geno Smith's numbers when pressured and when blitzed. This dude is awesome. Top 10 in passer rating, top 3 in adjusting completion percentage in both. Geno isn't worried about the blitz. He's been handling it. I just don't see how the Giants defense makes stops here. So before we get to the game picks, let's find another prop to pair with our Darren Waller over. So let's scroll down on Outlier to Seahawks versus Giants. Click on the insight screen to see if anything stands out to us. The one I liked was the DK Metcalf over receiving yards. You can see he's cashed this in 5 straight road games. You click on the chart, you can see his last 10, but let's filter it to the road. As we know, 4-0 in the last 4. Then we switch our filter to 2022 and take a look at last year's stuff. He went over this mark in 6 of 8 road games last year as well. We know the Giants run a lot of man coverage and their secondary is weak, so it makes football sense as well. I'm in. So here is our underdog pick'em for the game. The free leg available right now is Geno Smith higher than a half pass yard. So obviously, if you have that available, take it. DK Metcalf higher than 63.5 receiving yards. Unfortunately, 60.5 wasn't there. Darren Waller higher than 47.5 receiving yards. We explained that earlier. That's a 3 pick. It'll pay out 6 times. If you don't have an Underdog Fantasy account, it's available in any state highlighted on this map right here. Just head over to Underdog Fantasy, the website, or download the app. When you make your account, make sure you use the promo code BET. They are doing a $500 deposit match. 500. Never even heard one that high. So if you make an account and use the promo code BET and deposit $500, they will give you a free $500 to play with. That's a limited time, though. That I believe that ends October 4th. So as far as my bets on the game, I'm on the Seahawks, man. And I know after losing that Chiefs bet last night, I should stay off the heavy public side on this Monday night game, but I like the Seahawks defense in this matchup, and I like how good Geno Smith's been against pressure, so I'm doing it. Give me Seattle minus 1.5. As far as the total, I'm probably not going to bet the total, to be honest, but guns in my head, I'd lean under 47. Primetime unders have been paying out pretty well, so that's where I'd lean, but probably not going to bet it. I think I'm just going to go full unit, Seattle minus 1.5. If it hits, I'm back in the green, and my NFL winning streak continues. If it loses, we have our first NFL losing week of the year. So let's go Hawks. If you want my top bets, parlays of the day, it'll be a same game parlay for Monday Night Football. If you want to join our Discord or you want to get on the NFL against the spread giveaways, head over to KyleKirms.com. All the information's right there on the homepage. All right, Monday Night Football. Like I said, I need this win to keep my NFL winning streak alive. Let's go Seahawks. Let's get it done. Everyone remember to bet responsibly, and I'll talk to you in the Discord.